Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the sleep mechanics and discussion topics series. Uh, in this video, I'm touching on something that I think is probably my coldest of hot takes. It's not really a hot take because it's not really debated. People somewhat agree with me, but I don't think I see the community take things as far as the way I see this skill in particular, and that is the concept of helping bonus. Now, in this video, I'm going to make a case that helping bonus is the most powerful skill in the game, more so than berry finding S, even on berry specialists. Now, to really make this case, I've put together a hypothetical amazing team here. Yes, this team is cracked. As you can see, we're working with Adamant Nature Raichus, uh, just with Berry Finding S, just to get an idea. If we make the comparison of Berry Finding S to Helping Bonus, you gotta start by looking at like the White Room. Now, as you can see, the Gardevoir I threw in here, it's just my Gardevoir from my main series. It's the Gardevoir that I work with all the time. I think of it as kind of a middling Gardevoir, like the bare minimum someone could work with for an Energy for Everyone Pokemon. So that's why I threw it on there, because I don't want to make it completely unrealistic, even though these are unrealistic. Although if you're watching my main series account, you know that this isn't actually that far off from the truth. But anyway, so basic comparison, this team in a week could output 1.197 mil. And that's just with the settings that I had set, which is 0 island bonus, no favorite berry, things like that. If I change just one of these Raichus to have helping bonus. Now, I feel like a lot of players would look at this Raichu and be like, okay, yeah, that's good. But they wouldn't even consider it. I've seen people say that they wouldn't even consider a Raichu that doesn't have Berry Finding S, or a Berry Finder that doesn't have Berry Finding S. Because why would you run with this? It doesn't have Berry Finding S. Berry Finding S is optimal. Remember, it was 1.197 mil before. Now here we're looking at 1.193 mil. Granted, that is weaker. When you do a comparison of that, the 1197 divided by 1193, you find that it is about 1/3% better. That's so minimal. That is so minimal that it's almost negligible, the difference. And this Raichu is one that I feel like a lot of players would overlook late game because it's lacking Berry Finding S. And in fact, if we compare it to a Raichu that some players would consider to be good late game, like even if we just got rid of this Helping Speed M, a lot of players, I think, Adamant Nature with Berry Finding S alone, they would consider that to be a good Raichu for late game investment. They would consider this to be an amazing Raichu that should be invested in almost immediately if it just had that nature, that Berry Finding S. You're talking significantly weaker than the Raichu with Helping Bonus, and then no Berry Finding S, and then the Help Speed M and the nature. Now, granted, this is kind of niche edge cases, but it's to show that I feel like a lot of players undervalue it, because I know that a lot of players consider Helping Bonus to be strong, yes, but they consider it to be like the cherry on top, not something to make them on. And the point of this video is to really discuss how I think that it is something to be considered when looking at every Pokemon in the game. Every Pokemon having Help Bonus, I think, immediately steps their value up way more, even if they aren't the best at what they are designed to do. And I think this is an example of that. This Pokemon contributes more, or about the same to the team, as what another Pokemon that's good at what it does would otherwise. So, now granted, I said that I started off this video saying it's the strongest skill name, stronger than Berry Finding S, and this, all I've proven is that it's comparable, slightly worse. But Helping Bonus has a lot more going for it than what Berry Finding S does in other ways. Now, first off, the game lies to you, and that's kind of why why helping bonus is better than what you think it is. I've talked about this before in my a while back. I made a video about helping speed and how the math behind that works out. But basically, it's a 5% reduction in the time between helps. Not a 5% increase in productivity or 5% increase in speed. That's whenever the game says 5% increase in speed, it means a decrease in a decrease in the time between helps. But if you have a 50% decrease in the time between helps, that the game would phrase that as it'd be an increase, a 50% increase in speed or in frequency or whatever. But it's going to be producing 2 helps in the time that it produced 1 before. Therefore, that is a doubling in the amount of productivity. That's a 100% increase in productivity. The same applies for every other number, like 1 divided by 0.95. This is the difference that you'd have with 1 instance of helping bonus. You're looking at a 5.2% productivity increase instead of just a 5%. And if you have 2 instances of helping bonus, where it gets interesting is they actually multiplicatively make each other stronger, because then you're looking at 1 divided by 9, 1 divided by 9, 1 divided by 0.9, which gives you an 11.1% increase, which, if you do that divided by the 2 instances of helping bonus, they're each now contributing 5.5% increase in productivity. So each instance of helping bonus on the team makes the next stronger, and the same is applied to help speed M and help speed S. Those subskills help out helping bonus to do better at what it does as well, because they decrease frequency in the same way mathematically. So even though the helping bonus increases by 5.2%, like what's the difference between 5 and 5.2%? It's a big whoop, right? But 5.2% is the minimum it can be contributing. If we're talking the difference between that last one, it's a bit more significant. So the difference between 0.2, if you have 5 instances, you're looking at divided by 0.75. This is if all the team members have helping bonus. Then you're looking at a 33% increase in productivity, which divided across those 5 is a 6.6%. That's almost the same amount as helping speed S, which is a 7% decrease in the time between helps. So I guess it's really coming out to like 7.5-ish. I don't know the exact math there, but just because I'm interested. Yeah, 7.5%. I was pretty accurate with that. Versus 0.6%, it's contributing so much more than what you even realize. And they all make each other better in that way. It's very interesting in the math, and that's one of the reasons why. The other reason why helping bonus is more powerful than the number says is because of something that is kind of... It's tangible but intangible, and that is the healer, the concept of healing. The healer is giving a boost to the team based off of how many procs it gets per day. And the more procs the healer gets, the more boost the rest of the team gets. Well, the helping bonus is going to increase the healer's amount of procs by that 5.2%. And if the healer's procs are increased by that 5.2%, then the bonus for the rest of the team is further increased because now the healer's proccing more, and it just kind of loops in with that as well. So really, that 5.2% minimum is actually kind of incorrect if you're using energy for everyone, or energizing cheer, or any skills that increase energy for that matter, because you're further making it so that the healing's getting boosted as well. And that's kind of why all of that plays into, and I can prove that a little bit here. If I change this berry finding S1 to have helping bonus, it's 4.61 on the Gardevoir here. If we change this to helping bonus, I mean, this should just be pretty obvious that it's going to increase it. Now, it's not like you're getting a significant amount, but it's increasing in reliability because it's increasing to 4.83. That difference is kind of intangible. You won't feel that difference in the amount of procs per day. But that difference is there, because that means that on like 20% of days, you get one more help than what you would have otherwise. That's one time a week, 1 to 2 times a week. You get that many extra helps on the energy for everyone healer, and it just makes the healer a bit more reliable. So, helping bonus assists in that way as well. Now, let's start getting into the more nitty gritty and why I think that it's not just comparable to Berry Finding S, but honestly better. And to do that, we really need to dive into ingredients. Now, ingredients are a very interesting game in this game because, like, they're almost a game within a game because it's about, like, meeting the meal requirements. You need to make the meal, and because really most of your strength when working with ingredient specialists is from the base value of the meal. If you're using filler ingredients, you're effectively wasting those ingredients and wasting their potential. So realistically, you're not running a team that looks like this, because if you are, you're wasting a lot of ingredients, but this is for the hypothetical to explain the concept. These concepts do carry over to practical teams that use some berry specialists. Not so much if you're swapping around so much, but I don't know about how often that play style of swapping the ingredient specialists around. I know it's pretty famous with the mono ingredient meta, but for the sake of proving this point, that's why I made this. Now, these specialists, I know the subskills look kind of weird. That's because I used actual sampled Pokemon from my box. These are all real Pokemon that I have. I don't have them at level 60 yet, but this is for the hypothetical, so I took them up to level 60. Now, as you can see here, they're making the highest tier dessert in the game. This is where the concept of enough, I made a video on the concept of enough. The concept of enough comes into play. We're making 11 extra leeks, 32 extra apples, 10 extra ginger, and 47 extra coffee. All of that is a bit much. Now, if you've been following my series, you'll know that this Quaquaval is not actually helping speed M here. I gave it helping speed M because that increases the amount of leeks. This Quaquaval is better at making leeks than the real Quaquaval that I have, which doesn't have helping speed M. It instead has helping bonus. But, sure, he's worse at making leeks. That is strictly the case. He's getting 5 less leeks per day. But it's still meeting the minimum requirement for that meal. So why would you need the extra leeks? In fact, I actually haven't done this yet, so I don't know how this actually turns out. But let's see. If I leave this in as helping bonus, and I get rid of this ingredient finding M, and replace it with just like helping speed, if we just double down on the speed with this guy, let's see. Will it still make enough leeks? I don't know the answer to this. And if it does, sorry about this. The Rain on X calculator is moving a little slowly for me right now. Okay, so it doesn't make quite enough leeks, so that's actually not the best example. But I should have tested that beforehand, before showing it off. The one with helping bonus, though, does beat out the one with helping speed M in terms of the overall strength contributed to the team. As you can see right here. With the helping bonus, we have a value of the whole team. Man. Value of the whole team's contributing 2.023 million. Versus when it had help speed M, which is the better skill for finding ingredients. And yes, I put help speed M in because it is better for finding ingredients than ingredient finding S. That's a common misconception. I've touched on that plenty of times before. Helping speed M will output more ingredients than ingredient finder S will in this circumstance, in this theoretical of checking the app enough. But yeah, remember it was 2.023 million. 2.002 million. And that's, once again, much more significant impact than what we got with the Berry Finding S to help bonus from before. You're talking a difference of about 20,000 versus a difference of like 5,000. Granted, the scales are a bit different because this is about double the strength overall, but yeah. Now, that is why helping bonus is better in some contexts because of the context of enough, but it also gives more flexibility to the Pokemon that have helping bonus. Significantly more flexibility when building teams. Because, once again, it comes down to that concept of enough. And for the inverse reason, I've generated another theoretical team of taking those same Pokemon, but now making them a little bit worse. Changing that ingredient finding S or M down to ingredient finding S, which makes it that I'm barely missing the mark on the Quaquaval from getting leaks. Now, the default option here would be, obviously the default option would be to subskill seed that if you have the subskill seeds available, but if you don't have the subskill seeds available, what do? Or let's say that the skill trigger S way up here is ingredient finding M, and you're locked from getting that. What do? You're missing 2 leaks a day. You could stockpile, but let's say you don't have the prep time and you want to just make this team. Your options are rather limited because the only way you could get that last little bit of leaks is you're either missing on your meals or you run another leak farmer. But all of these Pokemon are important for contribution to the team. Skeledirge is making the massive 35 apples a meal that you need for Zing Zap Spice Cola. Charizard is contributing the ginger that you need, interestingly. This was the only Pokemon that I really had that could contribute ginger, because I'm kind of lacking ginger right now, but that's a whole different discussion. Vikavolt is contributing the coffee. What do? Well, instead of throwing out another Pokemon on a team that produces leaks to make those last couple of leaks, instead, if one of these Pokemon had helping bonus, aside from the Quaquaval itself, we'd have that threshold met. And once again, because there's the whole concept of enough, Skeledirge is way overproducing in apples. In fact, you probably don't even need the ingredient finding M subskill here, because it'd probably be producing enough anyway. Or the help speed S. And then boosting that Quaquaval to make meet the requirements that it's producing, you're going to get significant stronger bounds again, even if you're making the Pokemon worse at what it does. And to give that example, Vikavolt is way overproducing in the coffee regard. Let's change out help speed M here on the Vikavolt to helping bonus. Once again, making that difference from the 14% boost to a 5% boost. Sure, we're hurting our coffee productivity. The Vikavolt is, by a lot of player standards, worse in some ways because it's no longer making as much coffee per day. But now we're getting above that standard for leaks. And we're getting 2.046 million, which before it was at like 2.023, I believe. I showed it on screen. You could double check for me. But you're now making that meal, and that is way more valuable than the extra coffee a day. But it's giving that extra flexibility and more potential to the teams because now you can reach those minimum thresholds by boosting the rest of the team. Basically, it's now making it so that each Pokemon with helping bonus is producing a little bit of what every other Pokemon on the team is producing. Instead of considering it as boosting the others, it's basically giving that Pokemon more flexibility. In fact, if we didn't need coffee at all, then in this circumstance, if we went compared to the Raichus before, let's pretend coffee wasn't an ingredient that was necessary here, and you were asked to choose a Raichu, and you had Berry Finding S versus a helping bonus Raichu. I bet you, or this -2 is going to, that's, those 2 leaks per day is a lot of strength you're missing out on. And the helping bonus, making it that you can reliably make that meal requirement, is way more valuable than that like 4,000 a day difference way back on the first team. So even though helping bonus numerically in the white room is weaker than berry finding S, even on berry specialist specifically, sure, in the white room it's worse. When you take into account the greater context of making meals, when you take into account the greater context of the amount of flexibility that provides to that Pokemon, helping bonus is just invaluable and should be regarded as not only the single best skill in the game, but as something that can honestly outweigh, depending on the Pokemon, it can honestly outweigh the contribution they give to the team through the value that they are designed to contribute. Now, that doesn't mean that helping bonus on a Pokemon immediately makes it good, but if you're weighing the options between something that's slightly better at doing what it's designed to do and something that's like a middling tier option at what it does but has helping bonus, the helping bonus is far better far better on most teams that you can design if you're min-maxing the game around meals and berries, around how everything works, because the helping bonus just helps the whole team. And especially once you get multiple Pokemon on the team that have that helping bonus, you will really feel a difference. Now, this does come with a little disclaimer of if you get a full team of 5 helping bonus Pokemon, it probably doesn't matter, because there's a little thing that's called the help bonus cap, and that is 35%. From subskills, you can only gain 35% decrease to help time between helps total, and each one contributes 5%. Any Pokemon with help speed M contributes 14%. You're going to be surpassing that amount if you have 5 Pokemon with helping bonus on the team, and Pokemon on your team have help speed M, as most meta Pokemon do, because help speed M is just such a useful skill on all 3 specialties. So most likely you only need 4 to really feel the full effects of it, but it's just it's not a slept on skill because people are using it, and that's where I'm like, this is my coldest hot take. Because genuinely, it's not a hot take. People know helping bonus is strong. People value it. I just think that it is undervalued because people don't respect it to be as strong as it really is. And if you ever want to just see the value of helping bonus yourself, I encourage you to use the Rain-on-X calculator, design some teams, and just see the huge difference it makes when you just throw help bonus on one Pokemon. In fact, sometimes even take away the things that would conventionally be considered good for that Pokemon and replace it with helping bonus, and just see how it changes things, because it really does. It's a tremendously flexible skill. It's a tremendously powerful skill in every regard, because you're making every Pokemon better at what they do. At everything, not even just at what they do. It makes them better at their skill, it makes them better at their berries, and it makes them better at their ingredients. Every member of the team. And even though it's a little 5%, 5% adds up. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about with this video. I feel like the skill is tremendously underrated, and I just wanted to show off why I rate it the way I do. And every time that I see a post that's like, I don't know, do I invest in this guy, and it has helping bonus, and I'm like, if you're on the fence because like, oh, it produces a decent amount of skill triggers per day and it's a skill specialist, or produces a decent amount of ingredients per day and it's an ingredient specialist, but it's like not exactly what you wanted in terms of its job, but it has helping bonus, yes, invest. If it has helping bonus and it's already just middling at its job or decent at its job, but it's like, should I end the hunt, but it's got helping bonus, that is what you want. It is a powerful skill, and people can see it as the cherry on the top, but it's not the cherry on top. It opens up so many more doors, and that's just what I wanted to cover and discuss. So if you've enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe. I always do appreciate it, and I thank you guys, really thank you guys for hearing me out on this, and I hope you enjoy your day. Bye-bye now.